is going on, everybody? As they say, things change. It's time to move on. It's like that gut feeling that tells you like it's all done. Well, I've just kind of had that with the Africa Twin, and I'm doing something I said I never was going to do, but the Africa Twin's been up for sale for 3-4 weeks, but it is for sale. It is the end of an era. It's the end of me and this bike. I think what I learned when I got back from California was that's really that was the trip that I've been dreaming of, and it's over, and now I got to move on to the next trick. It's a fantastic bike. I'm gonna miss it, but I'm not gonna miss all the good times that I had. I don't really know what's going on as far as what the next bike is, and it's just time. I'm ready for another bike. So far, I've ridden the Goldwing. I went to ride the BMW K Series bike. I haven't had a chance to do that. I'm gonna go ride a Lowrider ST and a Road Glide. I'm looking for a touring bike, but I'm also looking for a shaft drive bike. I may look at a GS 1250 or the new 1300. I'm not sure, but a lot of changes going on in my life, things that I've decided to do, and you never know when opportunities present themselves, and I'll introduce you to a new opportunity today and tell you all about it. But yeah, why don't we go take a look. I hopped in this car pretty much sight unseen. It had a few issues. It had two very, very bald front tires, which I could not get replaced in time. But I left Cincinnati at 5 a.m. and got back here at about 13 hours later, about 6 o'clock, I guess. And it's 1,000 miles doorstep to doorstep. So enough bullshitting about it. Let me show you what crazy mess I got into. Yes, it is an Audi. It is the A8L, and it is silver. It's in really good shape as far as the color. The front end got banged up a little bit when I got it back here. The air suspension went out, and one night I was just down the street, and because the front left strut couldn't hold air, it laid on top of a parking curb, and when I backed out ever so slowly, it mangled some pieces underneath, but I got them all fixed the next morning, and it's good to go. And when I tell you this car is clean on the inside, oh, now it's got a door ding in it. Yeah, this thing is incredibly nice. Got a chance to talk to the owner, and he told me that very rarely was anyone ever in the backseat of this car. This was his work car, and it shows 143,000 miles. It needed a left front strut. I went to a German car repair place here in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm not going to name him because I'm too old to be getting into fights with other old people, but he wanted to charge me for a front left, front right, and a new pump. The pump was working fine. The relay was fine. I actually bought a new relay for 12 bucks in case it does go out, and I can get a pump online for about $130. I bought a new left front strut for 160 bucks. Had a friend of mine put it in for me for a couple hundred, so I've literally $360 in this car. Did need new tires. Guys, if you're not using Walmart for your tires, you're costing yourself money. These are $235. Let me see. Well, whatever. I think they're $235, 55 Z rated, ZR18. Lexani tires.
Yeah.
And I paid the premium Walmart installation package, which gives you a warranty on the tires. You can get them repaired at any Walmart auto facility, and it was $104 for all 4 tires, about 25 bucks a piece, which is what you pay at every place. 496 bucks, tax included, everything included. The people that owned this car before me bought a pair of Continental Conti Contact Conti crap. Those tires sucked in my opinion. What that was on them, they paid $309 a tire. They also paid $289 a tire the time before, back in 2011. Yeah, you can do better on your tires. Tire Rack was not less money. Walmart's where it's at, and the place I go here in North Richland Hills, if you're in the Fort Worth area, they are really good and they don't mess around, and everything is really up to a very high standard. Wow, it's dark in here. So this is it, man. This is the 2006 Audi, and if you want to hear a symphony of beeps, buzzers, and really messed up noises, go buy an 18-year-old German car. So let's hit it. So the key fob's in my pocket. You hit it, pop it once just to get it going. This screen's supposed to pop up, and it didn't. Put your foot on the brake. Beautiful. That's a mechanical gear in there. It's a mechanical gear in there. Yeah, that's the backup sensors. There's a mechanical gear in that pop-up screen that, because it's plastic, and over the years it has chewed the teeth off. It was a common problem. So there's a guy, I think it's called Tom's Accessories or something. I'll find a link, but if you have one of these cars and you've got the same problem, that gear is broken. And for $8 or $10.60, you can buy a whole replacement set of new gears. But I'm gonna pull out, go to the parking lot, and I'll show you this car. The blinking that's going on the dash is, for some reason, she never looked. Yeah, never looked at me. Let's turn the radio off. For some reason, this car does not understand that the adaptive lights that are on here actually do work, and there's a sensor that's shot or whatever. So the whole point of this video, I wanted to not only show you the car, but I kind of wanted to give you a clue into how I look at cars and give you some tips. If you believe like me that a Toyota Camry brand new is not worth $42,000, and that spending $40,000 is ridiculous for a car, then you got to go out and find what I call throwaway cars. It's really something that you want to last for about 2 years, but you don't have to sacrifice performance or comfort or just the basics like power windows, air conditioning, a decent, radio or stereo system. This car doesn't even have Bluetooth. So here's really what it is. When you look at a car, and I would suggest, and I did a lot of research, and I've owned, say, 50 cars since I turned age 16, old enough to drive. When you look at cars, look at the CarFax, okay? And here's what I mean by that. I recently, about a month ago, was trying to buy a 2013 Mercedes ML350. The ML350 is one of the best service records of these SUV type Mercedes, and the 3.5 V6 and the transmission and all that, they just got it right, okay? And I found this car, and this car lot had 3 or 4 of them on the lot, but the one that I was looking at, I did for a specific reason. So here's the deal. This guy's got 3 or 4 of these ML350s on the lot, and I go through and I'm looking at all the CarFaxes. And if you get a CarFax that just says 22 records available, or however many honestly, you want the cleanest, most easy to read CarFax. You can see how many owners it's had. If you can verify that it's never been in an accident, even if it's been in a minor accident, don't worry about it. Because if they got it fixed with insurance, they got it fixed at a dealership, and those guys they typically do a really good job. Anyway, this car was bought in Houston, Texas, but from the very first service was getting serviced at the Mercedes-Benz dealership in San Antonio. And then a couple years go by, and it says that the vehicle was shipped from San Antonio to Germany. And then 2 years later, or 3 years later, came back from Germany. Now, what does that tell you? If anybody has people in the military, come to find out, I figured out who owned the car. I called the guy, and he's like, yeah, that was my wife's car. And it was the military, and he retired as a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. And so I'm like, he said, yeah, that car we took it to the dealership for every service. It was really well taken care of. This car didn't have a mark on it, and every single interval, every single service this car ever had was done at a licensed Mercedes dealership, even in Germany. So I'm like, this is a no-brainer. These cars, when taken care of, will absolutely last a lot longer. And the further back you go and find those models and year ranges where they did the best build and quality, late 80s Mercedes sedans, the big ones, it's a good one. But anyway, I couldn't come to grips with the guy. He wouldn't budge on his price, and I didn't want to honestly overpay, add tax, title, insurance, maybe even a little extended warranty. It had 95,000 miles, but you're able to pick up a vehicle like that, and you can find really good ones for about $15,000. Now, is that a throwaway car, Chris? No, it's not. Because if you want to keep it 2-3 years, you're looking at $5,000 a year, $6,000 a year. That's about a $450 payment, $500 a month, whatever. That's still a lot. So I find this Audi at my buddy's car lot, and I called him, said, talk to my brother Steve, he handles all those cars, whatever. Steve said it drives nice. I looked at the car and I could tell. And you look down in the back seats where the child seat loops are, or attach points, there was no rubbing of the leather. There was no damage to the seat. There was no rust on those clips, because those car seats would have rubbed and taken the paint off those clips, and they eventually would have like stained or decolored, and none of that. Windows are still intact. Never had a window out. It's got a little chip in a windshield, but this thing, it's never had a windshield put in. And everything on the car works. I thought, I'm taking a chance on this car. And so I asked my buddy, I said, can you call the customer that traded this in and see if they have any service records. Dude, these people dropped off a binder, and in that binder were service records, and you got to be very careful in how you do this. But after about a month, I called and left a very polite message for the previous owner. He called me back, and I said, can you just give me an overview of this car, blah, blah, blah. He said, I'm not really technically inclined. I couldn't change the oil if you paid me. I wouldn't know what to do, and it's just not my thing. So, but we keep our cars a really long time, and we take care of them. And I said, yes, you do, because you spent a fortune on this car over the last 16 years. And he said, yeah. He said it kind of got to be a little bit much, but we love the car. He said, this was his work car, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, every service interval I have all the way back to like 09. And they've had warranty work done, and they ran over some train tracks and damaged the front air dam and got a new one. And they had a situation where the car got picked up by a tow truck and it damaged it. And okay, but he also replaced all the air struts at one point. He replaced the timing belt at 105,000 miles. He had spark plugs replaced every 2 years. He had the brake fluid flushed. I mean, you name it, it's been done to this car. Again, I'm not going to tell you what I paid for it, but let's just say this. If I tint the windows and I put new brake calipers, rotors, and pads on this car, which is about $1,000 plus the window tint, another $1,300, I'm gonna have less than $5,000 in a car that, when I tell you, is the best riding car at 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour on the highway. And I'm not condoning speeding, I'm just saying, if you were to reach those speeds, you would be impressed. The first time I drove this car, I drove it 1,000 miles in one day at highway speed, wink, wink. And it had the left front air suspension strut was leaking. So I went on eBay. I got an estimate for $5,200 from a German car repair place, because he wanted to do both of them in the front, a new pump and a new relay. He said all this stuff will go bad and this and that. Well, it hadn't gone out yet. So I bought a strut on eBay for $160. Had a buddy of mine put it in for $200, $250 maybe. I don't remember what I paid him. But $200, $240, whatever. I had $400 in it. Put a brand new set of tires on it. Like I said before, go to Walmart. I mean, just stop looking. Walmart has the cheapest prices on tires, period. So here I am, and you can't hear. I'm only doing 35 miles an hour, and I'll get a video at highway speed, but this thing, I mean, you don't even realize you're doing 90. There's a few quirks. This little pop-up screen thing, it's annoying, but it's only annoying for like 5 seconds. It's a $5,000 car. The driver's side window, when it goes down, it squeaks a little. It's not a big deal. I mean, the air conditioning will freeze you out, and it's just a great car. Just remember, if you can't get good information on a CarFax, and you're looking at a used car that doesn't have any service records, and it's a Mercedes, an Audi, BMW especially, Porsche, don't buy it. Don't buy someone else's problem. If you buy a car like I did, and you know all the bad stuff that happened to it, and who fixed it, and what's been done, you are far better prepared to have a good running car for the long term. And it's worked for me. This isn't the first one that I've done like this. I drive this car 100% in sport mode only, because I want it to rev higher. Not gonna lie, First day I had this car, it was sitting in my buddy's driveway, and I said, I turned the vehicle on, but I hadn't started it up, and the radio was on and all this other stuff. So I waited till all that stuff was out. I said, I want to hear, I'm going to pop the hood, I want to hear the engine on a cold start. And when he fired it up, it was ticking for about 5 seconds. It goes tick, 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 tick. And then as soon as some oil got up in there, it was fine. That is a sign that something is sticking. I changed the oil, and then the next day I drove it at highway speed for 13 hours in 90-degree heat, 88-degree heat. And I kept driving it that way. Now that I'm in Texas, that ticking is gone. I've changed the oil twice, and it's not cheap, but change your oil on these older cars. Don't think that you can go 5,000 miles. Don't do it. The cost of keeping this thing alive is in your oil changes and your services. I just changed the brake fluid. When I changed the oil the first time, I didn't use a new filter. The second time I did, and I realized that filter was coming apart. That hadn't been replaced in a while. New filter, new brake fluid. Next on the list is radiator fluid is great. It's still very green, whatever. It's just basics. You can buy a filter and 8 quarts of oil for about $100. So I just buy the filter. I bought a 3-pack of them. I take it to my buddy's shop, and I think he charged me $110 or something for putting it on the lift, draining the oil, and so on. So let's take a look at this car. Anyway, it goes down in there, but it doesn't come back out. All your seating, memory seats, gas filler. Yeah, that says Bose. This stereo cranks. Yeah, a little bit of paint coming off here. No big deal. On the other side, you have the same compartment, and the passenger has 4 memory seats. So you got... Oh. Yeah, this one used to have a phone of some kind. That old Mercedes phone. Auto lights. I mean, dude, this thing is so freaking crazy. It's dirty. So I just got out of the front seat, which is where I was sitting. This is the L version, baby. I am fully kicked back. And there is, I don't even know. It's got heated rear seat, ashtrays. I've never pulled this down. Let's see what the hell is in here. Dude, cup holders. God damn. I need somebody to drive me around in this fucker. Yeah, it's got little phone pockets, ashtray, cubby, magazine holder. It's got a flip down vanity light. Yo, what's up? Yeah, I gotta get this shave on. Headliner's good. I mean, there's a little soft spot up front, but headliner's good. It's got these shades in them. You got manually put them up and put them down. The one in the rear is power, and I just put it up for good, but I'm gonna go get the windows tinted in this thing because it's freaking hot down here in Texas. Ridiculously large trunk. I mean, it goes all the way. I mean, this is a pretty big bag, and that goes all the way up in there. Got 2 sets of floor mats, the carpet ones, and then the WeatherTech knockoffs that our Audi WeatherTechs, tie down clips and all this stuff. It's got a cargo net. I mean, and then these hooks down here, you want to hook your bag on it. Boom. You got something you don't want spilled. There you go. Or you just want a full-size spare underneath. Yeah, full-size spare. And when they got a set of 4 tires about 10 years ago, they got the spare done too. That's a $300 spare. This thing is, the only time this thing has ever been out of the car was them to put a new tire on it. 12-volt thing in the back, batteries back here. This tool chest is interesting. Oh, I do have the tow hook. I didn't think I did. This tow hook has never been out. And it's got soft locks, so when you close it and the door doesn't seam, it'll soft lock to pull it in. Tire pressure monitoring system even works. I don't know, I could pop the hood, but it's just dirty shit in there. But I'll do it anyway. Let's see what we got here. Such an easy thing to open. 0 leaks. I mean, the radiator fluid is still that pink stuff. I mean, the amount of service that was done on this thing is crazy. Let me figure that out. Anyway, don't know what that hose is, don't really care. It's all good in the hood, man. I take out the air box. That's your cabin air filter right there. Headlights. Headlights need a little cleaning up. I got a busted protective lens on this light. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, this front got damaged when the airbag sagged down on top of a parking curb. But there's literally nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with this car. So that's that, you guys. That is it in a nutshell. I mean, see you on the next one. I gotta go put this one away, knock the dust off the old Africa Twin today. And yeah, have a good one.